Welcome back to the American Nationalist 1776 channel. And if this image doesn't sum it up, the Epstein files round 2 have released. And boy, oh boy, is there a lot of celebrities, including one 4547 Mr. Donald John Trump. Before we get into this, guys, we are over on YouTube, we are over on Rumble, and we are over on X. Make sure to show love on all of those platforms, and let's get into this. So obviously we all knew good goy, top goy number one, Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump was going to be featured in the Epstein files. To what extent, we didn't know. A lot of people had theories, obviously, but we didn't really know until I think yesterday they got released on Friday. I'm filming this on Saturday during the UFC event. I'm trying to watch this, but some satanic pedophiles are trying to run our world, so there's bigger things to do. I'm just going to read a couple of these screenshots from the files. So this is sent from Jeff Epstein to Roger Schenck, and this is about Jewish control over all the goys, aka the base niggas, everybody else that is not Jewish. This is the way the Jew make money and made a fortune in the past 10 years, selling short in the shipping futures. Let the goyim deal in the real world. From shipping news, the most dramatic growth has been in shipping futures, which allowed shipping companies to lay off risk. The most popular futures are forward freight agreements, FFAs, to deliver goods on a particular route at some point in the future. They have grown in the past year to be roughly the size of a physical market, according to Bill Lyons of Baltic Exchange, a shipping bazaar in London that sells FFAs. Many in the industry have been suspicious of such futures because they have been averse to hedging their bets. Risk-taking is after all, part of the game and adverse to complicated financial instruments that they do not understand. So this is just going about how world Jewry is able to make money in their circles, their small little circles that run pretty much everything. And this is most specifically in shipping futures and how they're shorting or fronting stocks. Anywho, let's get into this one. This is sent from two redacted sources. Thanks, I didn't realize Bush raped him too. Well, we don't know the names of the senders and receivers are redacted, but obviously it says Bush, so this can mean either George H.W. or George W. It's not really too sure. I mean, or Jeb, I suppose, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it was one of the Bush presidents, and I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim. While on this yacht, he witnessed an African-American males having intercourse with white blonde females, all of whom were red during the actions. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut by a scimitar but left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed children being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating poop from these intestines. He was also raped by George Bush 1, which I'm assuming is HW. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who's the creator of True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website that attempts to paint the FBI in a bad light. Moore has a criminal record as a result of FBI investigation, copyright infringement. So this is absolutely disgusting. Obviously, we all know that Epstein was part of the Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency. And a big thing in the Jewish faith is just keeping it in the faith. Jews reproducing with other Jews. This is what they want. They specifically say an African American with a blonde white female. This is what they want. They don't want there to be black people. They don't want it to be white people. They don't want Mexicans, Chinese. They want it all to be just race mixed and nobody have a heritage, nobody have a past except for Jewish. So let's go on to the third document here. This is the base Jeffrey Epstein email. He said he's leaving India, not his favorite place. You would hate it. In the middle of nowhere, Pune, India. 20-hour travel, according to arriving at NYC at 4:30. So that's the only good part that Mr. Epstein did. On to number 4 here. Let's zoom in. This is from Jeff Epstein to William Doherty of J.P. Morgan. Obviously, he is in a part of this this world Jewry, they run the investment banks, they run the banks. We know this. Please wire $11,438 from the above account to Baal. If you don't know Baal, Baal is a satanic demon, which is the name of Jeffrey Epstein's account number. There's his rounding an account number, whatever it is. So that is just another thing. They're satanic. They want death. They want these terrible, terrible rituals to be happening to specifically children. But I'm sure it wasn't just children. Okay, and this involves Mr. Trump here. During one of Doe's encounters with Epstein, Doe meaning the victim female, and during one of Doe's encounters with Epstein, he took her to Mar-a-Lago, Trump's resort estate, where he introduces her to its owner, Donald J. Trump. Introducing 14-year-old Doe to Donald J. Trump, Epstein elbowed Trump playfully, asking him, referring to Doe, "This is a good one, right?" Trump smiled and nodded in agreement. They both chuckled, and Doe felt uncomfortable, but at the time she was too young to understand why. Absolutely sickening. I cannot believe I ever supported this man. I thought he was the savior of our country. Obviously, it's Jesus Christ. And you cannot trust no man, no woman. They will all disappoint you except for Jesus Christ. And that is number one example. When Joe Biden won the election, I'm like, if we could just get Trump in, we'll be set. We'll be golden age. I was a golden age goy. And then I got red pilled. This is all within the last 2 years-ish. But this is all terrible, terrible stuff. This is obviously blurry. I think I have a better quality screenshot of this. All right. So, this is an FBI unclassified document. List all the president, essay, whatever. Just reading this over again. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS, learned that Dershowitz, many students from wealthy families, for example, Josh and Jared Kushner, were both his students. Dershowitz told CHS if he were young again, he would be holding a stun gun as an Israeli intelligence Mossad agent. CHS believed Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. CHS still continues to communicate occasionally with Dershowitz. Jeffrey Epstein was represented by Dershowitz. So Jeffrey Epstein, represented by a man who is running with the Mossad, or at least wished to. CHS remembered Dershowitz tell Alex Acosta, U.S. Attorney, Southern District of Florida at the time, that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and allied intelligence services. So this can mean CIA, FBI, NSA, along with Mossad, and maybe even others. CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein, during which he/she took notes. After these calls, Mossad would tell them, or would then call Dershowitz to debrief. Epstein was close to the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal based. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the UAE allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. One of CHS, who presumably worked with blank, asked CHS a lot of questions about Epstein, CHS becoming convinced that Epstein was co-opted by Mossad agents. Masha Drakova, telephone number blank, is based in Silicon Valley. She's been running a firm called Day One Ventures, which is supposedly an early-stage investment company. She used to be Russian President Vladimir Putin's main contact in the Russian youth movement. CHS and Dravoka spoke, but Dravoka did not talk about technology. Instead, she looked at CHS and said, "You know Epstein, didn't you?" She said Epstein was a wonderful man and that it was a crying shame what he had done to him, what is being done to him. CHS concluded Day One Ventures was in Silicon Valley to steal technology. So Russian intelligence people running with Epstein, stealing Silicon Valley technology and such. CHS invited Shabbat is doing everything they can to co-opt the Trump presidency. Shabbat is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all the Russo-Jewish oligarchs. On the day Trump was elected president, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner were at the gravesite of Rabbi Shmierson, I can't really read it, it's too blurry, who was the most powerful rabbi in the Chabad network. Jared didn't disclose his stake with Qatar because of its ties to the Russian state. CHS believed that it was the real Russian collusion story. Kushner had moved a lot of Russian investment money around. The FBI should investigate Kushner's family's charities to find evidence of corruption and money laundering. Chabad routinely uses charities to launder money. So this could prove that the old liberal theory of Russian collusion in the 2016 election true? Who knows? CHS provided the attachment article entitled Jim McGreevey and His Main Man Craig Horowitz, or by Craig Horowitz, excuse me, published on September 10th, 04. While the article is old and centered on Charles Kushner, I'm assuming that's either their father, brother, whatever, uncle, or related to the other Kushners, it highlights and documents the deep ties the Kushner family has about Israel and their history of corrupt business practices and alleged violations of election laws. CHS stated that if the FBI is serious about investigating the Kushners and their relationship with the Middle East, they should look closely at Ken Kurson, who knows everything. CHS advised Henry Kissinger introduced Charles to Cole Tenkel, the Chinese ambassador to the U.S., a relationship that would have been helpful around the time of introduction. Anbang was entering negotiations with the Kushners over 666 Fifth Avenue. Isn't that ironic? These demonic people, and there's 666 in there. Harry has been involved with Trump's hotels, and he is a billionaire. Harry introduced him/herself to the Indonesian CIA. Harry does not speak Indonesian. Harry bought his Beverly Hills home from Trump, and inflated price on blank was at Harry's house when Harry blank chat told him that he was going to fuck Amazon over their military contract. CHS advised this was a real collusion story. Trump had been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and his presidency. So this is basically saying Trump with Kushner, they're Israel compromised, and they stole the election, whatever year that was. Igor brokered the sale of a Beverly Hills mansion acquired for $800,000 less than the market value. CHS referenced the article that was summarized the matter. Small-time scam artist gave Trump a mansion for $0. Why? So this is basically, he moved this guy into a house, whatever. If they were both compromised on the side, this is treasonous. Donald Trump should be, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but what's X? Executive cuted. That's what I'm going to say. Because I don't want to say it. I don't want to get taken down. Anyway, there's that. Absolutely terrible stuff. He should get all of his punishments. He can. Okay, this one is very, very bad. He measured the children's blank and V and female sexual organs by entering a female and rated the children on tightness. That's absolutely fucking disgusting. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was there, and also attorney Bob Shapiro were taken in rooms, forced to give gluck gluck to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to enter. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. That is so gross, dude. These people need to face they will feel the wrath of God. That's all I know. So in these highlighted parts, it is where it involves Trump. As you can see, actually they missed one. There's one that also has Trump. But these are highlighted for a reason. They have importance. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriend blank were victims of Epstein and one was murdered while working as a limousine driver. Complainant recalled picking up Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about on his cell phone were concerning and described a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. Complainant noted that Trump repeatedly stated the name of Jeffrey while on the phone. One of the complainant's ex-girlfriend, blank, told complainant Trump raped her as did Epstein. Culler is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Epstein. Complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported that there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complaints that reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform uh, lewd acts with him, and alleged Trump was present when her uncle unalived her newborn child. Caller was taken by boat to Epstein Island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, and a police officer where he was informed there was pictures of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school and was mad at her for not being a Trump person, and that the school wanted her to testify and say the things to Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting. Caller believes the FBI had baby pictures of her with Epstein. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, victim number one, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim one saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembers seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her that she had been raped. Victim one did not go to the hospital to have a grape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. Victim number one husband's business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also starts dating a lawyer, identifier unknown, but who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim one left a bar, and a man who no one recognized but seemed familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. In 2004 or 5, Sir Ivan Whitsing hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein, Sammy Sosa, Donald Trump were attended. Not Sammy Sosa, man. He was a slugger back in the day. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door at the party. Caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and the woman, possibly known as Colette Ellen Yu, was the madam. A couple years later, caller saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of Santos' friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her and that he could pay her a lot of money. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the kids in, and Trump would auction them. That was a lot, obviously. I wonder if I have that second part. Oh, here we go. Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein, blah, blah, blah. Make sure auction them off. He measured the children's blank. Okay, we already read that. Okay. So, yeah. That one that we read was missing from this. So, that's that one. Blank asked blank about his time driving in a limousine for 2 years. Blank. Okay, we already read that. A couple of these are repeats. I'm not going to lie. Some politicians named in the new list: Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, Barack, Bill Richardson, George Mitchell, Tom Pritzker, Tony Blair, Andres Pastrana, Sarah Ferguson. I don't know who half those people are, but this is a very gay message. Isn't it clear how a letter with Trump's signature was prepared? Inside the limousine of a naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person, voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald: yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey: nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald: we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey: yes, we do. Donald: enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey: as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump: a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. May every day be another wonderful secret. It's very gay. Very homosexual. Here is them talking about the 2016 election slightly after the election. I simply cannot believe this victory. No one called it. We all thought she'd win, referring to Hillary. You must be happy, though. I remember flying back with Donald on his plane. The first weekend I went to visit you in Florida was that weekend he met Melania and kept on coming out of the bedroom saying, wow, that was a hot piece of ass. Nuts. Anyways, hope you're enjoying Saudi. Set from an iPhone. Alright, and this is the list of all these celebrities that are on the Epstein files. Trump, Elon Musk, Michael Jackson, Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, George W., Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Prince Andrew, Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, George Lucas. No! Dude. Fuck. My goat, bro. Fuck. Tony Blair, Mohammed bin Salman, John Kerry, Ted Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Michael Bloomberg, Woody Allen, Alan Dershowitz, Ghislaine Maxwell, Andrew Cuomo, former mayor of New York City, I believe, or governor of New York, Larry Summers, Ehud Barak, Chris Tucker, Les Wexner, who is a known sex trafficker, Leon Black, Glenn Dubin, John Luke Brunel, Peter Mandelson, Lynn Rothschild. If you know about the Rothschilds, if you don't know, after this, search up the Rothschilds. You'll be mind blown. And then a bunch of towelheads and Peter Daglish and Minnie Driver. But that is all the important stuff, I think. Oh, and here is him inviting Epstein to Mar-a-Lago in 2012. After he claimed he cut ties in the 2000s. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on YouTube and on Rumble. Follow me over on Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next one.